Today I'm with someone very, very, very special. And I'll tell you a little bit about her. The very first time I met her was at my wedding photo shoot. And before that day, my fiance, now my husband, had told me a lot about her, a whole lot. And then she came for the shoot when I think we were about to wrap up. And I just saw her. She was so beautiful. And she is still so beautiful. And I met her for the very first time that day. And after that day, I think you invited us for your annual Thanksgiving again. So it's been amazing watching her from afar. But today we have the privilege of having her sit with us on this show. And she's going to share a lot about her. So I'm not going to talk too much. I'm going to allow her introduce herself and just tell us more about herself. So my guest today is actually Barrister Rita Akpata.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Drum roll.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah,
it's good to be here. And for me, when I got the call, that was, I think, after New Year.
Yes, just after New Year.
I was like, well, God is an opportunity to tell people about Jesus.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
to encourage somebody. So I said, okay, I'll do it, check with my calendar and all of that. So
yeah.
Like she said, Mrs. Rita Akpata. I'm a lawyer by training. I'm a Christian.
Of course.
I'm a Christian. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a teacher. I'm a lecturer. And I'll say I'm a humanitarian because I have an NGO, which is poised to give hope to people.
Okay.
And the motto is there is hope. From Ecclesiastes 9 verse 4, which says, to those joined to the living, there is hope. For a living dog is better than a dead lion. So for me, it's every day we are alive. It shows there's something we ought to do. So long as you're alive, there is hope. Don't give up on whatever you plan on doing or whatever dream you have.
Yeah.
And like the motto, I don't know who started it this year. Everybody's like, no grief for anybody and all of that. So no grief, really. No grief for anybody for depression or anything.
Yeah.
Don't give up hope. There is hope.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to twist that same question all around. I'm going to ask, so what do you do for fun? Because you said a lot of serious things. I'm a lawyer, I'm an advocate, but what do you do for fun?
For fun, I play a lot. Some people that know me, you get to know me to know that I play.
Okay.
I play a lot.
Okay.
And my last boy is very dramatic. So people, when they see me, they'll be like, they got it from me when they see me play.
Okay.
But if you see me for the first time, you just say, okay, this lady is too, as in, you have to scratch your head to meet her. But I have to know you for me to let my guards down. I play. I watch a lot of movies. I love to see movies. Just my current job doesn't allow me to see movies as I used to.
Yeah.
But I love to see movies. Before now, I used to read lots of novels.
Okay.
But I don't have time for that anymore. But I tend to see movies. And just that.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think my first question will be, what was life like for you when you were in your 20s? What was life like?
My 20s. Okay, I think that was when I was in school.
Yeah?
Yeah, I got into school when I was about 19 or so.
Oh, okay.
Because I left school at 16. Okay. I had to get my papers, then JAM. So I think I was in 100 level or so by 19, either 18 or 19. But year 2000 was when I entered school.
Okay.
So basically, my 20s, I'm from a very strict family. My dad is an evangelist.
Okay.
And my mom is a retired teacher.
Okay.
My dad is a scientist by training and all of that. So very strict. Even till now, he's very strict. So some people mistake him for a military officer, but he's not. But coming from that kind of a home, you could imagine there's some things you couldn't do.
Yeah.
So, and being a Christian home, he always tell you when you are going to school, know the home you are from. So that phrase,
I think every parent always says that. That was like a line for all of them. Yeah.
So hearing that, whenever we went to school, it guided our decisions, the friends we made, places we went to. So whatever we did was, okay, know the home you're from. You didn't want to face any panel like, why you brought this grace and all of that. So basically my early 20s was just focused on book. I needed to have a good grade.
Yeah.
Then made good friends.
Okay.
I didn't want to, because like recently I stumbled on Miles Morrow's message where he said, study consequences. So before you make any decision, study the consequences. So at that time, I knew I didn't want to tilt this way because
Yeah.
I knew the consequences.
Yeah.
So basically, my life was about school, church, because I went to a church in school.
Okay.
Church, then the house, few
Okay.
friends. My sister
You were
was in
going
school.
to school from home.
Yes, I stayed off camp.
Oh, okay.
I didn't stay in a hostel. So
Okay.
I went to Ambuzali University.
Okay.
I didn't like hostel.
Oh, okay.
So I stayed in my house off camp and all of that. So my sister's friends then were they basically took me as
Okay.
their younger one. So when
Yeah.
she left, she graduated before me. So for me, I had found my footing, and so some of their friends have friends with my friends and all of that. So basically that was it.
Okay. At what age did you want to get married, and what age did you eventually get married?
Yeah, I used to dream a lot.
Okay.
I still dream.
Okay.
So then I looked at it. My dad got married at 22.
Okay.
He was in university. My mom was still going to school. So they had my sister at 23.
Wow.
Then they had me when my dad had me when he was 25.
What was I doing in my life at that age?
Then my dad stopped having kids at 31, my youngest brother.
Wow.
So I looked at his life. I was like, early marriage is good. So I want to be like my dad. So I told myself that at 25, at 23, I wanted to be married. I told myself that. So I told myself at 23, I'll get married, have my kids before I'm 30.
Wow, okay.
That's what I told myself. Then I said, okay, since I enter school early at in 2003, yeah, I could have been approaching like final year or something. I'll get married. But you know, in Nigeria, school, or will I say school, is ASU that disposes when you graduate. Not even, not they enter school.
Yeah.
Not, you don't know
you can't
where you're graduating. Yeah, for a government owned school.
Yeah.
So, but that plan didn't come to pass until because of ASU strike closure by the then governor and all of that. So I graduated from school when I was 25. So I couldn't beat my dad's record.
Oh, okay.
So, but at 26, I was married.
Okay.
So I got married at 27. I had my first son.
Okay.
Then before I was 30, I had my second son.
Wow.
And almost, and all of that. So before life happened and all of that, but kind of what I planned came to pass in terms of getting married, and I made that decision to get married early. I looked at it before I got to final year. I said, I want to be a career woman.
Yeah.
But I looked at most, because those that used to inspire me, these women in top government.
Yeah.
Then Professor Dora Queen was doing so well. I looked at her and some other women that are prominent. I was like, okay, this woman is able to do this, but because she has a supportive husband. So if I'm to pursue career, something will suffer. So what I told myself was, okay, I'll raise family early. Okay. Since I'm studying law, law is something I can always catch up with. So that's why I took a decision early while in school. Okay. To marry early, then I'll pick up my career later. So
you kind of answered my next question, but then you said something about life happening. Yes. Do you want to share that with us?
Yes. After I got married, I wouldn't want to bore you with those too many details, but you know, when a young girl, like I say now, because I've experienced it, when you see people, they are so much in love. Yeah. They are blinded to reason. It's common. And you try to make them see reasons, you turn to the bad person. Actually. Because it's easier for somebody not playing a game to spot errors or mistakes or red flags. Yeah. But you in the game, you don't see it. Actually. Because you are so much involved, emotions and all of that. So then, when I told God that I was going to get married, then somebody I was dating in school, I saw that this is not somebody I liked. You
Mm.
understand? But I just couldn't. Like they say, if you like somebody, it shows. For a lady knows yes,
Very true.
she loves and all of that. But I just knew it was just there, like convenience. So then, when I left school, I wrote my final exams 2005 December. So I met this person that's my ex now.
Yeah.
The following year, 2006. I had said, okay, I want to get married. He had a good job, everything.
Yeah.
Funny enough, they had their namesake. Just that
Okay.
one was a different tribe and all of
Oh,
that.
okay.
So, and I said, okay, everything checks. Okay, he has a good job. I had my checklist. Has a good job. He's a Christian. God fearing, in quotes, because a lot of persons haven't had my experience.
Mm.
I discovered that God fearing needs to be defined actually. A lot of persons just say, yeah, I'm God fearing. But how many people are really God fearing? How many people are in the true sense of the word? If you fear God, you'll be kind.
Yes, definitely.
You'll be kind because we lack kind people in this world.
I agree with you absolutely.
Because if you have a kind man as a husband or as a friend, or a kind person is a gift, because when you hear a lot of evil happening around, you'll be wondering, is that a human being?
Mm.
And it takes someone that really fears God to be kind, to be
True.
empathic.
Very true.
So for me, I was like, God fearing, as I was dumb then. I would say dumb. As I knew, I said, okay, God fearing, has a good job. He's not living in Benin. I don't like Benin. I've never liked Benin. I don't know, but it's like God has something in Benin for me. So I now
Me
said,
and you
okay,
are on the same page.
have you?
Because I
So
found myself here too.
at times, like I went for a conference 2 years ago, and the person was like, "You don't, Benin doesn't fit you. Come and live in Abuja." I said, "Are you saying I should leave my husband?" She was looking at me. So anyway, so everything checked, but everything was too good to be true. But I remember my dad telling me then that just be patient. After you love school, you can do everything. I said, no, 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 it must be this guy, must be this guy. I was blinded to reason.
Mm.
So it was after the whole wedding thing, my eye opened. Like they'll
Wow.
say, marriage, when you are in love, you are blind. When you enter the marriage, the
Mm.
blindness will go off. So I knew immediately that I had made a mistake. That okay, it's not as it seemed. You understand? So
Yeah.
because the first shocker was, I grew up from a very we are closely knit. Just
Yeah.
four. We are four, two girls, two
Two
boys,
boys. Okay.
and my parents. Well, I wouldn't say we are the richest, but my parents raised us in love and all of that. So
Yeah.
you we don't. There's so much love that you don't suspect your neighbor. If
Mm.
he tells you this is red, you believe it's red. Not it tells you it's red. You
Mm.
think you're seeing red. Meanwhile, it's coated.
Yeah.
It's actually black. That's just something and all of that. So things were things were really not what it seemed. When they said A, it actually meant F.
Wow.
So, but I knew that I knew that marriage was for life because I've seen my parents. My parents will be 46 years in marriage this year.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I've never really, yeah, couples have disagreements,
Of
but
course.
not to the point that you wish evil of the other person. So for me, I knew things were not adding up. I had never heard of the word narcissist as at that
Mm.
time. So,
Mm.
but when somebody kept telling me I should be the one giving you joy, trying to isolate me from my family
Wow.
and friends, coming, not then there was no internet like
Yeah.
you
Like
have
we have
now.
now.
So then because I was very trusting. Okay, help me check my mail. I gave him my password, and after
Yeah.
all,
Of
he's your
course, your
husband.
husband.
Let me check my mail in the office and all of that. So he will come on, who is this person? Not then to Yahoo Mail. Who is this person? Why is this person bearing all my love? I said, that's the nickname we're all calling is our big brother. I said, no, shouldn't be deleted.
Uh-uh.
This is how deleting me. I don't know how
Wow.
to suspect. I'll just be like, hey, why is that person smiling at you? Why is this? Not knowing he was kind of projecting his
On
insecurities
you.
and telling me, okay, no makeup. My mom doesn't use makeup. You shouldn't do this. I'll keep quiet. Your hair. Why should you even do home service? You leave my son. I didn't have a maid. I didn't grow up with a maid, so I could cope with all of that. I wasn't working.
Okay.
So what he had told me then is we'll go for cross posting because I was
Okay.
working on oil servicing company
Okay.
then. While going cross posting, you do your masters in maritime law, which is actually in international law and all of that. So you can do that, and so I just believed. Not knowing
Wow.
there was something else. So as I sat at home taking care of the kids, and I knew many things were just not right, but I didn't know what to do because marriage is for life.
Mm.
That's how we all
That's
grow up. My
of
parents
course,
say,
of
hey.
course, of course.
So the things that are happening, I now knew that it was beyond me.
So at what point did you know that it was you had to like it
I
was
knew it
beyond
was
you?
I knew it was beyond me 3 years. No, after I had before I had my second son. Before I had my second son, that was about 3 years, 2 years into 3 years into the marriage. Yes,
Okay.
I knew things were not right, but I just couldn't tell anybody. I'll just be it. One
Wow.
thing with me, I always smile regardless of
Mm.
what I'm going through. I just smile through it because I don't like to hold on to things too much because
Mm.
I just know it's a phase.
To always
Things will always get
pass.
better and all
Mm.
of that. So, but it's like they expected me to be unhappy. The more I was happy and it didn't settle well with. If you know who a narcissist is,
Yeah.
well, your joy makes them
Angry.
angry. Like you shouldn't be happy. Like
Ah.
and all of that. And I'm a free person. You understand?
You are.
I am a free person. I don't know how to kind of I don't know how to I don't see why one should be arrogant or feel like this is the less person. No, we're all humans.
Right.
And one thing I've come to know, like my husband always tells me that the more God blesses you, the more you should be deliberate about being humble because your blessing can be taken away from you.
Very true.
So why should I feel like I'm better than any other person? So I was patching it. The next thing they started telling me, "You leave this house. I don't even know why I married you. Blah blah blah. I should have enjoyed my life. You're
Wow.
not even working." Blah. Me, I was not. I was waiting for cross posting.
Mm.
So the next thing, I want to resign. Then I was pregnant with my second son.
He wants to
He said he
resign.
wants to resign. That I'm stopping him from resigning. I'm the enemy of his progress. I said,
Wow.
people resign when they've gotten another job.
Actually.
I don't want to be a charity case.
Mm.
I have to give birth because of the HMO and all of that. Um, I, don't- I didn't know what manipulation was. Like I told you, my kind of, you read about witchcraft
Yeah, you just
or
hear all
hear
the
about, you
stories.
don't know that it really happens. Like so many of those stuff. Yeah, I kept quiet. I didn't say anything. So when he now finally resigned, he resigned. This time I'd given birth. He stopped listening to me, started taking instructions from his family and all of
Mm.
that. So his family told him to cut me off communication and all of that. So well, there was a time I now prayed, God, please, where is the source of this problem? There
Mm.
was this ODM that I used to devotional then,
Okay, yeah,
daily
yeah. Daily
manner.
man, I remember it.
So my mom usually sent to me in Port Harcourt.
It was
So
a very, very powerful
yes,
book
yeah,
back
it
in the
was.
days.
It was. So I remember that particular day after praying. That he always had these footnotes. He
Yeah.
said, if you've prayed about everything and nothing seemed to be happening, ask God to show you this night what the problem is.
Mm.
I remember that and I prayed. And that night, really, God showed me where the problem was. My ex father, and then I said, there's something all right about your dad.
Mm.
Me, I didn't have sense. Not those they don't have sense. You don't talk about in laws and
Yeah.
they'll always be
Yeah.
defensive. So I now
Yeah.
said, he said, no, 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 no. Next thing, and I said, called the man. I said, there's a dream I had. Oh, you're not happy with me in the dream. Blah, blah, blah. He said, yes, that dream is correct. Right now, count yourself out of this family. Blah,
Wow.
blah, blah. I didn't say anything. So when the pressures were getting too much, he had resigned this time around. I was working with another
So
service
how was he
company.
coping after resigning?
And reality dawned on him.
Wow.
His family said, don't worry, you get another job. After he resigned, my dad was still working then. He sent us a link, NNPC then,
Okay.
that they're recruiting. So we both applied. His name didn't come out. I was invited for the aptitude test.
Wow.
Me, I was even praying, God, let him get the job because of the pressure. Like I didn't want
Yeah.
those kind of. So few days to the exam in Port Harcourt. Then
Yeah.
his father told him to come back to Benin. That he said those that their names didn't come out to come to their home state. I didn't know it was all manipulation and lies. I went to the center, wrote my exam. The next thing, when he was coming back, he came back with all our wedding gifts that were being in their family house. He said his mom said he should go and sell them. I said, why? He said, sell them now, since he doesn't have a job. The mom now called me. And now, when you have friends getting married, tell them you sell souvenirs. And I said,
Wow.
I don't want to sell. I want to work. He said, that's what she said on the phone.
Hmm.
That's when trouble started in Zion. Different attacks and all of that. So I didn't really know what was happening because I was naive.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening. And I told my parents, they started praying. And I said, this guy is always saying that you will abandon me and the children. No, we should leave, we should leave, we should come back to Benin. Even is the next thing, he said he's gotten admission in one school in Port Harcourt affiliated to Uniport that he will be going to school there. We should leave. I said, if you don't want us to disturb you, you can come on weekends. He said, no, 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 you people must leave. That's how one strange sickness came. And like I was saying, so I suggested like, okay, maybe he needed full concentration out at school and all of that. But the pressure was almost like leave. So I told my dad, and he was like, we don't believe in divorce
Mm.
and all of that. Regardless of what's going on, it's just a seasonal
Yeah.
thing. So things will get better. That's even why he sent that link and all of that.
Yeah.
Pressure was much to leave and all of that. So um, that's when I told my parents that this. So strangely, I became sick.
Wow.
So I thought it was just normal malaria. I went for test. They said 1+. Well, it became worse that I could neither sit nor stand.
Wow.
Yes, my appetite, I couldn't eat anything. I couldn't do anything. I knew something wasn't normal. So when I told him, he
That's your
said,
husband.
yes, my ex now. So
Your ex-husband,
yeah,
rather.
so I told him that day. He was like, I'm getting tired of taking care of you. I think you should go to Benin. I'm tired. I just said, okay, even if because this time I was not sick,
So they
so I
wanted you
had
to
no.
come to Benin to
Yes,
their family house or
he wanted me
something
to come to Benin. He just kept saying, go to Benin and stay while he's
with
going
his
to school.
family.
Yeah,
Okay, that was the
that's what he
plan.
wanted. Yes,
Okay,
come to
okay.
Benin, stay with my family. Then when I'm done with school, you guys will come back. That's what
Wow.
he said. So I was like, okay. Um, he said, okay, I'm tired. Since I was not sick, something like, say, you go listen to me
Yeah.
now, go to Benin and all of that. So I said, okay. In my weakness, I said, okay, even if I go to Benin, I'm staying in your family house. So he said, well, I don't know about that. Call my mom. So I called the mom. She was like, the first thing she said is, you see they're sick? I know a very personal.
Wow.
In my weakness, I'm like, who is dying? So she was like, give her this, give her them. Okay, okay. You stay. Call my husband first.
Ah,
So I now called my ex father in law. I called, I said, you are coming to Benin. He said, you not stay my house, so you go to Papa house. I didn't know what was happening. So what they only told my dad is she's not feeling well. She's coming to Benin to recover.
yeah.
They didn't say any other thing. So this time around, my son has stopped school, the one, my first son, and all of
Yeah.
that. So as we're on our way to Benin, that Passat, and now I'm telling you, my own
Yeah.
Passat and all of that. So he had not serviced that car. That's why he used to bring us to Benin. His
Wow.
sister sat in front. He was not pressuring like, hurry, hurry, hurry. We need to go. The father was calling. People should leave Port Harcourt, leave Port Harcourt. So I sat behind with my two boys,
Yeah.
my 6-month-old son and my 3-year-old. Sister was in front. I'll just be like, normal talk. I knew something wasn't right. My spirit man was still alive, but
Mm.
I was just weak physically.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, just talk to her. The way she was snapping back at me, like then my
Like you had
kids,
done
yeah,
something.
then my kids were now. I'll be calling them. They're deferring to her instead of to me as their mom.
Wow.
I didn't know what was happening. I had noticed my phone I was using then was this Nokia Flip.
Okay.
The ringtone was this Olori Oko Infinity then.
Yeah.
Strangely, my ringtone had changed to default Nokia ringtone. I didn't know what was happening. So until I got to Benin, it now dawned on me that a night to when we were leaving, we left. They brought me back to Benin Wednesday, 6th of April, 2011. On the
Wow.
night before, Tuesday before that day, I was so weak. Mango I was trying to eat, I couldn't eat it. I went to sleep. I remember early morning of on Tuesday, they came and dropped my phone by my bedside. Perhaps that's when they had formatted this. They formatted my memory card,
So
everything.
all your contacts were
Yes, there was a
gone.
plan to wipe their enemy off or something.
Wow.
I still didn't know until I got to Benin before things started unraveling.
Wow.
So, long story short, I came and I thought, okay, maybe I'll just recover. My mom looked at me. They brought you back home because they already had a clue how he was pressuring me and all of that. I said, no, no, no. They didn't bring me back. This is my house key. My books and my certificate, they are saying Port Harcourt. I'm going back. My rent is still subsisting. They looked at me. A night to presidential election of that year, they made that's Friday to the election day. He went back to Port Harcourt. So my dad came back from Warri, where he was still working there,
Yeah.
and asked about him. Said he has gone back to Port Harcourt. Immediately my dad came, was like, my mom said, this is what happened, or they brought her home. My dad had not changed that night. Went to the family house, which was not so far from my dad's house. What's happening? Different story. This, that, that. My dad said, okay, let me go and pray for God to expose who the devil is. And that's when prayer started. And those things you see Patience was up for doing movies was child's play compared to what I went through.
Wow.
Physically, spiritually, attacks.
Wow.
At the point, I'm like, what kind of life is this? I was even suicidal at the point.
Wow.
I was like, I looked at myself, how do I face life? What will people say? I had not practiced. This was 5 years post call.
Yeah.
I had not practiced. I had no experience in practice of law. I was abandoned with my two kids. Where do I start from? I didn't have a job. As at that time, the highest paying chamber was like 20K a month. So I was like, how do I even start? First of all, emotionally, I was traumatized. So I was slipping into depression and all of that. So the only reason why I didn't go through with that suicidal thought was what I was taught in Sunday school.
Yeah.
That if you kill yourself, you're going to a fire. So I said, I mean, I don't want to be in a fire for life and all of that. So with constant motivation and all of that from my parents, my dad, close friends, and even my pastor then now got to know, like, if you see how I was like, I dropped from a size 14. I was almost a 16 when I was in PH. When I came back, I dropped to a size 8.
Wow.
I was skeletal. There are some pictures I don't bring out. The bone here was so deep, like
Wow.
cheekbone. You think I had HIV, depression. I was mad, anger. When you say anger, my first one then came and was like, "Mommy, what's this?" He didn't
What
understand
was going
and
on?
all of that. But long story short, I was able to overcome all of that with the help of that. As I said, life happened and I had to readjust. My mindset changed
Yeah.
and everything. But thank God for God, He helped me overcome that
Wow,
phase.
your story. Your story
It's a long
is
story
a
that we
long
can't talk
story, of
about.
course. That's so I think
No.
my next question would be, a lot of people that are single and are
Mm,
watching this
mm,
particular episode, what do you have to say to them? Like,
mm,
what are signs they should look out for
mm,
before getting into marriage?
mm. Like I always say, don't be carried away by the glamour or the wealth or the so much sweet talk. Women are usually moved by words.
Yeah.
The Bible says, test of spirits. That's what the Bible says. For those that, well, I'm a Christian, so I
Of
will
course,
speak
of
and all of
course,
that. So,
of course.
having gone through what I went through, I think you should go beyond just the physical checklist. Yeah, everything checks out. Pray about it. Everything might look very perfect, but pray. What is God saying? Because after everything, I asked myself. I said, "Well, your dad tried to warn you. Some persons told you to be careful, but because you are blinded by, oh, this is a perfect person, it fits into my plan,
Yeah.
that by 25, my
Yeah.
20s, I should marry, everything checks out. He lives in PH, he works in an oil company, blah, blah, blah. I didn't check the other part. So look beyond words, look beyond the physical qualities, look beyond um the I don't know how to put it now. Look beyond packaging.
That
Look,
packaging part there.
yeah, it's good. I love good things.
Of
Look
course,
good,
of course, of
but
course.
beyond, if a well-built man, fine, six pack,
Of course.
6 feet or whatever.
Yeah.
There behind might be a narcissist. Behind might be a killer, a dream killer, a bitter person, a damaged person that wants you damaged like him. Behind is a bully. Behind
a
is a manipulator. Behind is someone that hates God but masquerades as a God-fearing person. Behind the so-called pastor, some claim to be pastors, youth, church worker,
church leader
is a dream killer, a wife beater, someone that will that will rape your children, molest them. Do you understand?
Yes,
so
yes.
We should look beyond all of that, because these days when I see people getting married, I just ask, okay, I watch out, okay, I hope he treats her well. Because the society we live in is, we tend to groom ladies for marriage. We are concerned about the girl. Yes, do well so that your husband
will. What about the husband?
We are not raising boys to be men. We are raising boys. Yeah, we are making boys feel entitled. Like, yes, I'm the man. What does it take to be a man? A real man will love and respect a lady. A real man will love and respect someone else's child, because for you to tell someone's father that I want to marry your daughter, you are invariably telling the man that stop taking care of her. I want to continue from where you stopped, and you should do better than her father. You should do better.
Very true.
Don't make her feel like, oh, you worthless. You see, some ladies are with so much bright future, bright dreams, confident ladies, industrious.
Yeah.
And they think big. People that think global. I like to think global.
Yeah.
I have big dreams. So, but you see someone that has inferiority complex, but he masks it up with superiority complex, which is a form of inferiority complex.
Actually.
So you not see the guy like, you're dreaming too big, you're going to be like. That's a sign
actually
that he's going to kill your dream. You see a lady that is well dressed now, you say, she's too fine. Other men, they look up. Your insecurities, that means you want her to wear boo-boo. She'll start wearing, she'll cut off her hair, no makeup, she'll look like
just
this.
Because she wants to please you.
Because she wants to please you. No. A guy is coming, if a guy doesn't respect you, there's high chance that you're single. He will respect you once you get married.
Very true.
Especially when your shape is not so hourglass anymore. Or
because you get pregnant and all of that.
Your boobs will sag. If he doesn't value your person, who you are, or respect you as a human being, it's going to diminish. That's going to tell you, why did I even marry you? I should have enjoyed myself. Maybe I should have flexed myself. I should have married a working class. Should have married and you now, you don't have your self-worth, you start crying and begging. That's what I was doing. Begging, don't leave me. Oh God. Now I've learned my lesson. You can't tell me that trash. You understand? So for me, I'm very passionate about it now. Yeah, beyond I love you. Does it treat you right? Don't settle for less. Like in class, I tell my girls, I teach family law.
Okay.
So I'll tell them, like, don't settle for less. Be you a girl or a boy. There are some narcissistic ladies too.
Of course.
Not just a guy.
Yeah,
I have boys, so I'm very passionate about, I'm particular about also raising boys to be godly and respectful. Not just the girl. It's both people that get married, male and female. Don't focus on the female gender. Raise boys to be men. Because when you raise your boys to be men, gentle, respect people, kind, show them the way of the Lord. When they are Christ-like, that's when they can love their wives as Christ loved the church, and submission becomes easy at that point.
Very true.
When you allow a lady blossom, like, this, she should do better. She should be better than you met her.
Actually,
that's why I respect this couple, this comedian, Real Worry Pikin.
Oh yeah,
People
yeah.
celebrate the husband more because he allows her fulfill her purpose.
Very true. Very
Even
true.
Bimbo Odukoya then, the Pastor Bimbo Odukoya.
Yeah, she was more popular than her
She was
husband.
more popular than her husband. So you should allow her shine.
Allow her fly.
Exactly, because the honor comes back to you.
Very true.
Even the retired CJ of Edo State, Justice Ikpome, when they honored her, they named a hall after her in BIU. When they honored her, before she went to the ceremony, she came to the VC's office. That's a CJ that has the right to commit anybody to prison for even making noise in our court. They can try you for a simple offense like contempt and all of that. But you saw when she came into the office, she came with her husband. And one thing I noticed was she was humble where her husband was. And I said to myself, if this man had told her your law degree is keep it somewhere, you are just relegated to the kitchen and the bedroom, there's nothing she would have said. The best thing is she would leave the marriage. But the man was allowed her to fulfill her purpose. She kept, even during her speech, she made reference, acknowledged her husband. You could see that she was humble. That's one thing most women don't do these days. Some people, they have supportive husbands, but career tends to enter their head. Then you now lose, you start disrespecting the man
because you're flying high.
Because he allowed you. Yeah, career should stop at the door. Respect, this is your home. Outside, you are the boss. At home, you have to submit to your husband, especially when you have a good husband. When you have a good husband, be nice, as the Bible says, be a good Christian woman, and things will go easy for you. Even Dora always acknowledged her husband. He was at the background. Everybody knew who you name Akunyili
because of her.
Because of Professor Dora Akunyili. So young ladies is beyond them. It's beyond the glamour. Yes, I want to have a very big wedding. Yes, it's nice. Me, like I said, I love good things.
Of course.
Yeah, beyond that, plan for the marriage. And who are you planning the marriage with? The guy should love you, respect you. Respect is key. Even when I remarried, when I met the man, there was just my husband now.
Yeah.
There was this peace within I felt. And after going to Bible school, it said one of the true tests of the perfect will of God is peace. The one Bible describes that passes all human understanding. Nothing, no matter what, is unwavering. I have that peace, and the respect he gave me then is still the respect I get now. 7 years. This is 7th year since I remarried.
Wow.
So, but the respect has grown. We respect each other. When we gist as if we are mates, at times we'll be like, and my husband is older than me with 15 years.
Wow.
But when we gist as if you'll be like, you sure not with my generation, they're going because I know I started reading early, so I was exposed to a lot of things. I started reading early, so I could, and I observe a lot. So we gist as if we are mates, but I know where the respect is. He allows me be me. At times he tells you, okay, I don't allow that. Allow you. Well, you understand, a man has to be a man.
Yeah.
Give him his respect, and he will allow you fly too, and all of that. So respect is key for young ladies.
Thank you so much.
Respect is key.
So much said. My last question would be, so for people that are going through or that are in situations like the one you described, with one form of abuse or another, manipulations, married women or even men, as you said, because it could be both ways. Yeah. What's your advice for them? How can they? Because I feel like a lot of people are just stuck in that. They're just stuck and they don't know how to get out. So what's your advice for them?
Okay. Like the Bible says, marriage is meant to be for life.
Yeah.
Even according to law.
Yeah.
You must have intention of living together for life. That's what the law says.
Yeah.
Marriage of one man and a woman to the exclusion of all others. But you get married, situations, life happens to people. It's a very loving couple become like arch enemies. There's so much toxicity and all of that, abuse, verbal, emotional, even physical assault.
Yeah.
So when it's becoming too toxic and life threatening, personally, I advise there should be a separation.
Okay.
Speak up and separate if it's becoming life threatening. And I'm not saying go and divorce. Even the courts are reluctant to dissolve marriages. There's a process to a dissolution of marriage.
Yeah.
So usually it's there must the exception. The only time you can apply for petition for dissolution is 2 years.
Okay.
And all of that.
So they give you time to try and reconcile.
Yes, because you cannot just marry now and say in 6 months, no, the guy is a killer. The court will not dissolve the marriage. So the exception to the 2 year rule is when there's a threat to your life and all of that. So the court will hear you out.
Okay.
So, but usually they'll tell you, okay, be separated. You must have lived apart for a minimum 1 year. The marriage has broken down irretrievably. There are some marriages that God has restored, even though they're toxic and all of that. So that's why there's this reluctance to dissolve marriage immediately. So, but if you're going through abuse as a woman or as a man, speak up. There are some groups that listen. Like you can go to there's some groups. Go to FIDA. You can go to even Ministry of Justice.
Okay.
There's some social Ministry of Social Development and gender issues. So it's not limited to just the woman. You're going through abuse. There are some women that are worse than Hitler. They will beat you or
they'll beat
that
the
killers. Yes.
Wow.
When I was doing my court attachment, there was a guy that came to court and said he wanted to dissolve his marriage. On what ground? He said the wife is always fighting her and always beating him. The whole court started laughing. For a man, for him to speak up, he said he would deflate his tires, destroy his properties. Has even gone to his manager in the office to report him that he was tired. Where did you meet her from? Is she educated? No, she barely has SSC. She went to the village to pick her and all of that. So I didn't understand what the man was going through then. It sounded strange and everybody was laughing.
Yeah, because it's funny because
it's funny.
You hear it the other way, basically.
But recently in Lagos, there was a survey that said more men compared to 2 years ago when you had less men reporting domestic violence cases. Last year, the rate at which men have reported cases of domestic violence.
Women.
Yes, some women are very manipulative. So we beat you and start crying. You think they're the ones that is a victim. Meanwhile, they are the abuser. So most times I say, speak up. You never can tell who will help you, and families should do better because there are some persons that won't speak up, but they speak, and the family will tell you, no, now, and listen, na so marriage be and this one, that one, that one. You stay there. At times, it's the corpse of your child that they will bring home. You remember the case recently last year of a woman that became an amputee? And the governor's wife was very angry. Then there's a recent case.
There was one of a singer too. I can't remember her name.
Osinachi.
Yes, Osinachi. That one too was domestic.
That one was for me. I feel when someone has been abused mentally, emotionally, you lose your self-worth. I think that's worse than even the physical. Because the Bible says, guard your heart with all diligence. Out of it are the issues of life. If the devil takes control of your mind and tells you you're small, you're nothing, you're worthless, that's one of the reasons why people commit suicide. The devil starts whispering to your mind. With time, you start believing it. Meanwhile, God says, be not afraid. Don't be afraid and all of that. And he tells you you are the head and not the tail. If you refuse to see that, you start believing lies of the devil. No matter how people tell you, run, there's danger. You tell them no.
You won't see it.
I'm sure that's what happened to Osinachi. She was already gone. Like, mentally, she was gone. Have you seen twins are the closest friends? You didn't even confide in your twin sister and all of that. And family. So for me, even recently, there's a case in France. The lady is originally from Haiti. She had 4 kids for this guy. And the man had abused her when she was pregnant with her 3rd child, 6 weeks before she delivered. The guy stabbed her. In France. And she reported the matter. Later, she dropped the charges against the guy. Just December, before Christmas, the guy came, stabbed her and her 4 kids. Stabbed her 2 older ones. then strangulated.
Wow.
Those other two young. 9 months is the last baby. She had a fourth baby. Someone you didn't report in 2019. Now you're dead with your 4 kids. If she had reported or
Followed
prosecuted,
up. Yeah,
she would have
not
saved
dropped the
her
case.
kids
Yes, and herself.
and herself. So the thing is, speak up. You never can tell who will help you. Since speaking up, since coming out of that abusive marriage and writing my book,
Yeah.
a lot of persons have come to me.
Okay.
Even the NGO, a lot of persons have come going through similar stuff. For me, I just wonder, it's same script. I think it's one demon that the devil sent. They act, all the men
same
act out
way.
one script. They abuse their wives mentally, physically, and everything. And because they're narcissists, you now tell them they start manipulating you, they gaslight you to the point that you start asking yourself, did it really happen?
Yeah.
And all of that. So for me, what I tell them is, you have a lot to offer life, you have a destiny, fulfill it. Marriage is no passport to heaven. If you're married and your marriage is blissful, yes, you're blessed.
To go.
But if you're going through abuse that want to kill you, leave so you can live. You tell your story later. Imagine if I had stayed there, maybe I would have been dead.
Yeah, nobody will be hearing your story.
I won't meet
and
you.
Being inspired by it too.
Exactly. I wouldn't meet you. I wouldn't
Definitely.
be teaching. When I see my students in class, I talk in codes, just advising them, especially when I'm teaching family law.
Yeah.
Like, don't settle for less. Don't settle. If the guy can't accept the whole package, he should go. And like this comedian said, Apostle Sunemada said recently, there's First John, the Second John. If the guy says, I will dump you,
there are many more.
Let him go. Like my ex, when he now saw that, after my head came back, 2011 was my trying time and all of that. 2012, I told myself, I have to start again. I'm stuck in Benin. So my dad said, "That's your certificate, I trained you." So I asked myself, yes. Then I had to tell myself, okay, if I had to get a job, a chamber job, 20,000, I have to put my son in a daycare that I can afford 5K a month. So the other 15K, I'm not buying food and all. I could take care of my kids. Then I don't have money. I went to buy shoe to prepare. My pastor then said, if you don't have a job, dress the part. You get a job.
Yeah.
I went to second hand New Benin to buy 2 cut shoes.
Wow.
I cleaned it. My dad was like, who bought shoes? I said, I'm preparing for my new job. My faith was high. So, and it was 21 days fasting then in church. So I went, and within that 21 days fasting, I met the Reverend then in CGM.
Okay.
I just met him. I was like, God says you're helping with a job. He said, oh, really? What are you? I said, I'm a trained lawyer, but I have interest in public relations. He said, okay, the VC of BI is my friend. MD of ITV is my friend. So, are you ready your CV? I was always prepared. So, went to BIU, dropped CV in Bishop Phelps' office and the VC. That's how God favor broke protocol for me. My interview was scheduled after Easter of that year.
Wow.
I didn't know they had employed people. I got my job. And when I got the job, that was the beginning of my restoration. So I now had discounts in Word of Faith
for your children.
For my children. So I had some money with me. So I told myself, like my dad always told me, you're not the mother and the father of these kids. So I told my kids, all I need from you is good results. I'll provide everything. You couldn't tell their dad was absent in their lives.
Wow.
And all of that. So for me, I said, okay, what if I were a widow? Would I not survive? Life has happened. Move on. Move on. Most of the time, people are stuck in the past, like this is the end of the world. No, it's not. You have a lot to offer. So that's how I started patching up. Like, okay, yes, job, that's the solution. Get a job. My restoration started. So if you're in an abusive marriage and you're thinking, how do I start? First of all, leave that toxic place. Get a life. If you are not educated, try and start a business. You never can tell where help will come from. You start a business, take care of yourself and the kids. The man will come back begging. They came back telling me,
oh really?
You have to come back.
Come back to where?
I said, you want a divorce? We'll meet in court. No. I said, you're not. If you disturb me again, he said there are over 10 women that are competing to take your place. I said, please pick one. Pick your next victim. Why?
Wow.
I had become, I had realized who I was.
Your mindset had been transformed.
My value. And I knew, oh God, I settled for less before. And I was not ready to go through that again. So after the whole thing, I had remarried almost immediately. I said, good riddance. And I told myself, God, give me a man that will love me and my kids, respect me, love my kids, and treat them as his own. I prayed that prayer. And 2016, after Shiloh, God answered my prayer. When I met my husband, and he takes care of my kids. That one, old story. I don't know whether it happened. I went through that. I can't remember.
Being there, done that.
Exactly. So now, like, I had a speaking engagement. I was like, so what do you now? I said, no, it's beyond physical, not slum the jail. Do you respect me? Do you truly love and fear God? Are you kind? Are you kind? Because there are a lot of single mothers and they start hiding their kids. I don't hide nothing. Me and my boys, whole package. Like,
you have to take it all.
Exactly. And one of his friends, a woman, called me then. I didn't even know what the future held then. She called me from Calabar. Go back, oh. If not, nobody will ever marry you. Be second hand. I looked at the woman. I didn't know what the future held. I said, because of my kids. He said, because of the kids, go back. I said, because of them, I won't go back.
They don't have that kind of example growing up.
Exactly, because I didn't want to raise boys that would be like their dad. So I said, I won't go back. Before I remarried, people were coming. They were coming. Like,
you were beautiful.
I started screening them. So my salon guy now called me one day. I was like, Mama, what's in the apple? The guy had relocated, and I was like, single ladies never see you, they say hi. you your two boys.
As
people are calling.
Hot cake.
Someone asked me, one of my colleagues in the office was like, your market they sell, oh. I said, not my market, oh, it's favor.
Yeah,
it's the glory of God that is showing. When they were coming, two had even gone to meet my dad. When I saw, I didn't need to see the full red. When I just see the tip red flag coming, I just called my dad, send them away, they are not ready. I'm not settling for less. But when my husband came and I had that peace I told you.
Yeah.
And my dad put him through a test too. The guy went through it.
Wow.
Got to Bible school. He went, busy man. He went to Bible school.
Wow.
Go to foundation school in Winners. He went through all of them.
Wow.
So when you are done, before I'll see you or your family, he did all of that.
Wow.
And my dad now fixed the date. Coincidentally, it's the date I had written in Shiloh 2016.
Wow, God is amazing.
So God settled it. So that's why I have this peace. Couples will quarrel, yes, you have misunderstanding, but there's this peace within, like, it will pass and all of that.
Wow, thank you so much. It's been an amazing time on the You Inspire Me series, and thankful to our guests for all the stories she shared and all the lessons learned. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.